Hi everybody, this is the football head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hunt, and this is another video on the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny part.
Now, welcome back to the football hub, where we talk about all kinds of stuff, but obviously we talk about NFL and the Giants, but let's go back a little bit. I'm going to talk again about the crazies at WFAN. I'm going to talk about this controversy that happened a month ago. I know a lot of people have been watching my videos from a month ago, so I figured I'd do another video on this for you. So before we get into that, hit that subscribe button. We're going to want to get this channel to 500 subs and 3,000 hours view time to get this channel partially monetized and obviously get fully monetized in a little bit. But here we have from Awful Announcing. Now, let's take a step back. A month ago, Giants legend Carl Banks had a segment on the mid-morning show, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata. Now, he'd had that program, that slot, for many, many years, at least 20 years, at least maybe 15 years. He was a big part of Evan Roberts and Joe Benigna when they had that show there in the mid-morning. So he's been there at the radio station for many years doing this. And he's obviously a voice on the Giants games. The Giants have brought a simulcast on the fan, both on the FM dial and the AM dial on the fan. And he gives his analysis. He's a very serious guy. He's a very respected guy. But he was disrespected about a month ago when there was a disagreement about Giants defensive player, Kayvon Thibodeau, and that the numbers and the analytics is telling Banks that his play has improved, but the issue is that Tierney and Sal Licata both said, no, we don't think he's any good, and Carl is like, I have facts here that I want to talk about. Can you refute the fact? If I have facts, then why are you saying he's terrible? Well, they didn't want to hear it. A shouting match escalated between Spaz Licata and Carl Banks to where Spaz hung up on Carl, and that became a big controversy because Carl decided after that he was going to quit, and even though they apologized to him behind the scenes, the host did, this escalated, that dragged in, and he self-inserted himself. Greg Giannotti, who has the morning show with Boomer Esiason, he said that the show was boring and basically threw under the bus Evan Roberts and Joe Benigna, saying that they thought it was boring too, because he worked as a producer for that show. So instead of him not getting involved, he had to interject himself for whatever reason. That got worse because then it dragged in Gary Myers, who put out the fact that Carl Banks had quit WFAN's spot, to where Greg attacked Gary on X Twitter. So that escalated. I have all these videos on here that you can watch. And you can check it out on the WFAN Insanity or Madness, whatever I have there. It's in my playlist. Well, here's the thing. Last week, he was on with, this is Carl Banks, he was on with, he's on the Michael Kay show. Michael Kay is on ESPN, he is a competitor, obviously, of WFAN. And he's not a very good competitor because he lost the competition. He lost the battle that he had with Mike Francesa and Carton and Roberts and now Tiki and Evan. But Carl Banks was on there to talk about what happened at WFAN. So this is from Awful Announcing. Giants great Carl Banks opens up on WFAN exit, quote, I'm not going to buffoon myself. The thing that got me was I'm being treated like Carl from Sea Caucus. And he's not. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, 86 and 91. He's part of the Giants' Ring of Honor. And really, he should be. I'm surprised he's not in the Hall of Fame when some of his teammates are in there, like Harry Carson and obviously the legendary, iconic Lawrence Taylor. 1 month after his high-profile exit from a weekly show on WFAN's The Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata show, Carl Banks is telling his side of the story. Now, he appeared on a channel called The Entertainer Talking Sports, and he said that he left because he felt disrespected by Spaz. And I would also mention that this also dragged in Norman and Esiason saying that Carl should stop complaining and man up, which was not. I don't know how that went over with Carl. Appearing on WFAN's rival ESPN New York on Wednesday, New York Giants legend addressed the exit, which stemmed from an argument with hosts Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata regarding the play of second-year linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau. The argument, in which Banks was defending the Oregon product against criticism from Tierney and Licata, got so contentious that the host hung up on the Giants' Ring of Honor member, who later canceled his weekly paid appearance with the program. During his appearance on the Michael Kay Show on Wednesday, Banks said that while he doesn't mind arguing, his issue with the show's host was what he perceived to be a lack of preparedness. Quote, "My father was a great debater. I got no problem with debate. I have a problem with debating someone who will not acknowledge facts. It's a waste of time at that point. That's not a platform I want to be on. I'm not telling you that facts are not facts. I think that the facts speaks a lot. But when you want to have a position on someone and you ask me about it, you tell me you haven't seen that person or you don't watch that person, then I'm like, well, what are we talking about?" It's interesting. Banks also admitted that he was insulted to a degree by being hung up on and revealed that he has since had conversation with all involved. "It wasn't just for me. I don't want to say I'm bigger than them, but I'm bigger than arguing back and forth with people," said Banks, who still serves as the in-game analyst for Giants radio broadcast on WFAN. Now, I would mention, he's not going to be taken off the broadcast because it's the Giants that will decide who broadcasts the games. I've got a lot of other interests that benefit from me doing things the right way. That's how I've built my brand. I'm not going to buffoon myself. Not that they asked me to, but going back and forth when in fact it's sitting right here as plain as this cup. It's a cup. You could tell me it ain't. I'm telling you it is. And co-host Peter Rosenberg brought up that many Giants fans were outraged by the show's treatment of Banks considering his credentials. The two-time Super Bowl champion and 1987 All-Pro agreed. "The thing that got me was I'm being treated like Carl from Sea Caucus." The 61-year-old Banks said, "I'm not a regular caller, right? And I try to bring things that will try to either make people smarter or more informed about a subject." While Banks insisted that he was past the incident, it appears as though at least some level of bad blood still exists. While one could argue about the show's treatment of Banks and his reaction to it, the reality is that the 61-year-old was simply a poor fit with Tierney and Licata, and a blow-up was likely coming at one point or another. Nobody knew that. And the bad blood is not with Tierney, because he says that he's good friends with Tierney. And I don't even think the bad blood is there with Licata so much. He says he doesn't know him. But there is bad blood when it comes to Greg Giannotti. Greg Giannotti is a major troublemaker at that radio station. He will air every bit of dirty laundry about every host, about every personality, about any player that comes in contact with him or anyone else that he's associated with. And that is a fact. It's not me making that up. If you've watched and listened to his program for years, he will air out all kinds of stuff about different members and different employees at WFAN. He basically tells you that a lot of the guys and ladies at the Fan have problems with gambling. He has admitted this. So he airs out a lot of dirty laundry on the air. He causes a lot of problems, this guy. Him more than anybody else is a very troubled individual. And he has said he is. That's where the bad blood is with Giannotti. And I don't know what if there's bad blood with him and Boomer Esiason. That I couldn't tell you. I don't know what kind of relationship they have since they both played in the NFL. I don't even know if the Giants ever played the Jets or the Bengals when he was quarterback and Carl was playing, when Boomer was playing. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to look that up. But that's where the bad blood's from the morning show. That I can tell you because, like I said, Greg Giannotti's a troublemaker, but you get that kind of trouble at the funny farm, at the nervous hospital, known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm.